Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man who finds out his girlfriend had another guy on the side. Let's see how it goes. Story 1. Me, 21 male, and my girlfriend, 23, have been dating for over a year as of now. We met on a blind date and it instantly felt like we were a match. Recently, our relationship has gotten more serious. She moved into my apartment a few weeks ago. I'm gonna meet her parents at dinner later this week, and I was actually thinking about proposing to her someday down the line. I'm not the kind of person that believes in soulmates. However, for a long time it really felt like we weren't just in love, but that we were a part of each other. At least it felt that way until I found out that she's been cheating on me. I found out when she was in the shower and she left her phone out to play music. Our bathroom has a Bluetooth speaker set up, so that when we're in the shower we can put on some music to set the mood. And she gave me her phone so I can set the playlist while I wait in our room. Suddenly the music gets quiet, the notification sound plays, and she yells, "Can you tell me what it says?" from the other room. I checked it and it's a text message. Normally I try to respect my partner's privacy, but I couldn't help but notice the name Steve Hart listed at the top. Steve is not his real name, alias used for privacy. "Well, what does it say?" she shouts again from the other room. "Nothing," I tell her, "just a McDonald's coupon. We'll have something nicer later." The name alone was enough to make my heart sink. I didn't think there was any way she would be cheating on me, but I had to find out for sure, so I read the message. "Hey baby, I've been thinking about you all day. Want to meet up later and have some fun?" With a shirtless selfie attached. Reading the text message absolutely broke me. It felt like I was stabbed in the back by the person I trusted the most. I couldn't bring myself to read through the rest of their text messages. I knew everything I needed to know. My girlfriend was still in the shower and I was guessing she was going to get out any second, but I was breaking down inside and I didn't want her coming out to see me like this. "If you need me, I'll be in the living room," I called out to her as I sat down on her phone and cleared out the notifications. Then I lied down to process everything. All I could feel was this awful mix of grief and anger, grieving our relationship that could have been perfect if she stayed faithful. Angry at Steve for ruining everything. Angry at my girlfriend for what she's done, but more than either of those, angry at myself for letting her betray my trust like this. As I type this out, I'm still trying to process what happened. I really don't know what to feel, who to blame, and how I should confront my cheating girlfriend. Any advice would be appreciated. Update. First off, I'd like to thank everyone for all your support and advice. It really makes me feel like I'm not dealing with this alone. After lots of thought and considering everything you guys have told me, I decided I want to confront my girlfriend. But I don't want to give her another chance to manipulate and lie to me. I want to confront her with the reality of what she's done, how deep her betrayal really is. Then I thought about when I'm supposed to meet her parents. Well, what if I'm not the only one meeting her parents that night? A devious thought rushed through my head. I was going to invite Steve to dinner as a surprise guest and make her explain everything herself. When we were getting ready, she was going to take another shower and gave me her phone to set the music. But unbeknownst to her, she just gave me a license to kill. I turned notifications off and texted Steve again, giving him the address to her parents' house and asking him to come over. We were supposed to have dinner at 7. So to give us enough time to get settled in first, I told him to come at 8. Barely even a second after I hit send, he replied with a string of horny messages detailing all the things he wanted to do that I would rather not repeat, much less think about. And I told him to save it for later. The bomb had been planted. Suddenly, I heard the shower head turn off, and as quickly as I could, I deleted the messages, turned notifications back on, and opened up her Spotify playlist. Fast forward an hour, and we're driving to her parents' house, and I could barely contain my anticipation. "You seem excited," she tells me, and I say that I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. Maybe not for the reasons that she's thinking of. We ring the doorbell and her mom gives us a very warm welcome. "Welcome home, sweetie. Is this that OP you've been telling me about? I'm so glad to meet you," she exclaims as she gives her embarrassed daughter a very big hug. As we walk inside, I see her dad sitting in a lazy boy with a beer in hand, watching some black and white documentary about World War II. He's in a trance-like state, not noticing either me or his daughter until the mom snaps him out of it. And suddenly, he shoots out of the chair to give me one of the firmest handshakes I've ever received. "Nice to meet you, son," he tells me. "I hope you're as good as my daughter says you are," saying it with a slight chuckle. At this point, I'm starting to regret my plan, as both her parents seem like nice people, and I find myself not wanting to involve them anymore. We all sit down at the dining room table, and her mom tells us that she has a pot roast cooking in the oven. But in the meantime, opens up a bottle of wine and starts making conversation. It's been a pleasant evening so far, but I'm unable to stay in the moment. Instead, I'm watching the grandfather clock tick by, counting every second of every minute that goes by. 7:26, 7:38, 7:44, the food's ready at 7:51. It was actually a pretty decent meal, but by the time I got to enjoy it, I was busy anxiously waiting for the surprise guest to barge in and ruin the night. It was now 8:02, and Steve was going to show up any minute, when suddenly I heard the doorbell ring frantically several times over. It sounded like someone tried to press it but got their finger stuck and was trying to get it loose. "I'll go get it," I offer, but the mom insists on getting it herself. She then walks over to the door, blissfully unaware of what trouble he's about to start. I wasn't able to make their conversation out, but she invited Steve in for a plate. He's a conventionally handsome, muscular man wearing a black tank top and gym shorts. Truth be told, when I saw him, I kinda understood why my girlfriend started seeing him behind my back. But when she sees him, she's visibly shaken. "Steve? What are you doing here?" she nervously asked. While this was going on, the dad seemed very unhappy with the situation at hand. "Tell me, just who the hell is this man and what is he doing at my house?" he demanded to find out. This was the perfect time for me to spill the beans. "I'll tell you who that man is. He's the guy who's been effing my girlfriend behind my back," I proclaimed. There was a visible look of shock on both of her parents' faces. Steve just looked confused, and my girlfriend looked like she was about to cry. Steve, finding himself in the very center of the crossfire, felt it was his turn to explain. "I'm sorry, bro. I don't know what to say. I didn't know she was already seeing someone else." Before he could finish that sentence, my girlfriend's dad started yelling at him. "Get the F out of my house before I make you leave." He then started backing out slowly towards the door, saying "okay, okay, okay" under his breath, and with both of his hands raised in the air. Meanwhile, my girlfriend started sobbing, and her mother tried her best to comfort her, but she couldn't hide her disappointment. Her dad started to realize what was happening, and his anger shifted towards me, blaming me for the situation at hand. "What kind of man are you?" he asked me. "You could have acted like an adult and talked to her privately, but no. You just had to drag her family into this mess. Do yourself a favor and leave. Don't ever talk to my daughter again." I then did exactly that. I left their house and haven't said another word to my girlfriend since that night. Of course, she still had to come home with me to pack up all of her stuff and leave, but we didn't say anything to each other until it was time to say goodbye. Maybe her dad was right. There may have been a better way to have that conversation, but I don't think there was a clearer way to send that message. What's done is done, and I hope she learned her lesson. Your ex's dad was right, OP. You could have handled the whole situation in a much different way, but then again, your ex cheated on you, and you were betrayed and hurt. You probably just wanted to hurt her like she has hurt you. What you did was your way of handling this situation. Hopefully, your ex has learned her lesson by now, and her father used some of that wisdom to tell her that what she did was wrong and not acceptable. Story 2. My wife, 31, and I, 29, dated for 5 years, and now we have been married for 5 years. Both of us have stable careers. She actually relocated for work about 2.5 years ago, and I followed. 6 months ago, she had to go out of town for a month for work. Nothing out of the ordinary. Before she went on that trip, she went to the doctor for her normal PAP, and she actually got positive test results for HPV. We have very open communication, and she told me about it. I told her that she had nothing to worry about and that the test was probably wrong. I really didn't have anything to worry about because I knew that I didn't cheat, and I don't believe she had either at that time. Well, she just told me before Christmas that during her month-long trip, she actually had a week-long affair with one of the people she was working with up there. She told me that she thought that I had cheated. Our relationship was not in the best place it had been in the past, but that she made a mistake and that she really wanted to fix this. FYI, she was retested and it was clean. I'm heartbroken. I thought that this was going to be the person that I would spend the rest of my life with, and now I'm totally lost. I don't want to tell my friends or family because I don't want them to hate her, or if I do decide to stay. I'm going to see my parents and best friend this coming weekend, and I decided I'm going to tell him because he'll be able to comfort me in this time of need. Off the bat, I don't need to worry about money. She doesn't care about it, and we both make about the same amount. No kids, 2 dogs. We do own a house together in a different state that we're renting out. And we're renting a house in our current location. My wife is in the armed forces, so she's going to be moving in June of 2014. And I was planning to go with her and find a new job, wherever that may be. But that was before she broke this news. Can you guys please help? Thanks. OP, your ex's reason for cheating on you is silly. She cheated on you because she believes you have cheated on her without any concrete evidence. She also did not have a drunken night or a one-night stand. She had a week-long affair with some random guy. And she only confessed to you because she got tested positive for STI. Now that you know, it's time for you to decide on whether or not you want to work on this relationship or not. Trying counseling, you both have to figure out what prompted her to cheat apart from her thinking you've cheated. If that doesn't work, you can divorce her. I'm sorry this happened to you, OP. Good luck. Now for some comments. I cheated because I thought you cheated. Come on, son. You're lucky you don't have kids with this woman. It'll make things a lot easier. You say your wife is in the military. Keep in mind that means she's in an environment that's 10-to-1 men and every man in the office is in great shape and bored and horny. She's shown she can't be trusted now. How long do you think it'll be before she cheats again? Not long would be my guess. How you handle it is up to you, but if I were you, I would always wonder what she was doing when she was deployed. Do you still want to see if this can work? If you do, make a list of things you need to see from her to rebuild trust. Additional things I would include on the list is full disclosure of the affair, the name of the person. If there were any other time she's cheated on you, how long did the affair go on for, who broke it off, and why? I would verify her story by talking to the other man. And if he was married, I would have my spouse call his spouse to tell her the truth. If she trickle-truths or lies to you details of the affair, I would divorce. This would be my version of a shit test to see if she's more worried about protecting him or fixing the marriage. I doubt you can get much here. After all, no one knows your relationship like you do. But the fact is, she cheated. Realistically speaking, if I'm rational, I would think about what will happen 10 years down the road. Say you have a kid or 2 and she cheated again, and you finally decided to get that divorce. Now, since you're a male, you will most likely be responsible for child support. So if you do this later than now, you really didn't lose 10 years. You lost 10 years plus the number of years you'll have to deal with her until your kids are adults. So in reality, you truly will not be free until you're into your 50s. Sure, you can take that gamble, but she cheated for a reason. Do you think she'll not cheat again? That depends if you're willing to gamble another 18 plus years of your life to find out.